This is our second week of doing When Joseph Went to Bethlehem. This is what I did for junior primary. They are very unfamiliar with the song, and so I just kind of jumped right in. So you start with your scarf, say, okay, teachers, hand out scarves, you got 10 seconds, don't worry about the color. And then you put it over your shoulder. We're gonna be like Joseph with a traditional sash or whatever around our shoulder. Try that again. When Joseph went to Bethlehem, and then you're going to put it on your lap. I think he took great care. Now, can you imagine, get your imaginary hammer and your imaginary, sander or planer, and we're going to place our tools. To place his tools. Oh, very good. And then we're going to close his shop. Take your hanky, close it, and close his shop. And then you're going to take it and make like a little broom. And leave no shavings there. Very good, just like that. You get all the dust off, and I pause and let them catch up. They were a lot slower because they're little. Okay, should we try it again? Okay, on your shoulder. When Joseph went to Bethlehem, I think he took great care to place his tools and close his shop and leave no shavings there. And we repeated that quite a few times so they could catch up almost from the beginning after each move. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hold your hanky, or your scarf, and you're going to pull it through with your other hand so it makes like a tight rope, like a tight leash. We're going to urge the donkey forward. He urged the donkey forward then. Well, this is a tricky one. Let's see if you can take your scarf and put it over your head like a traditional head covering for Mary, because Mary is on the donkey's back. With Mary on its back. Let's try that together. Straight through. He urged the donkey forward then. With Mary on its back. And now we're going to make a little sack to carry our bread and goat cheese. So can you make an O? You're going to make an O. You're going to put the hanky on top and pull it through, whoop, like that, to make a little drawstring bag. And carried bread and goat cheese in a little linen sack. Okay, let's try it all the way through. Back on your shoulder. When Joseph went to Bethlehem, I think he took great care to place his tools and close his shop and leave no shavings there. He urged the donkey forward then, with Mary on its back, and carried bread and goat cheese in a little linen sack. Now I repeated it a lot more than I did right here. Basically after every move, I would just start from the beginning, start again, and then maybe half through, go back to the halfway point, add the moves, sing it all the way through, and then I asked for a couple helpers. Who thinks they know the moves really, really well? And I get a couple helpers up here, and they do the song with me again, and by then they're starting to get really familiar with it. Now for senior primary, they're much more familiar with the song. We've sung it last year, so it's really just a review and teaching for maybe new kids. And so I do the same moves, but in the beginning I gave them a little bit more. I said, I've been thinking a lot about Joseph, the husband of Mary, and I had my scriptures, and I said there's not a lot written about Joseph in the scriptures. And so the writer of this song had to use their imagination to think about what Joseph might have been like, how we might have prepared for the birth of Jesus. And so now as we sing this song, I want you also to use your imaginations to think about what Joseph might have been like based on the words that this songwriter chose. Okay? Then, when Joseph went to Bethlehem, I think he took great care to place his tools and close his shop and leave no shavings there. Freeze. Think about that. What does that tell us about Joseph? That what he might have been like? That he, knows what with him? He took great care. I think he took great care to place his tools, close his shop, and leave no shavings. Raise your hand if you think you have an idea of maybe what Joseph might have been like based on those words. And they said maybe he cares about his business, he's tidy, just other adjectives. Yeah, maybe he cares a lot about what he does, he's conscientious, he takes good care of his things, a good steward. Very good. And then I teach him the rest of the song. He urged the donkey forward then. This is a tricky one. They get a little silly sometimes. With Mary on its back and carried bread and goat cheese in a little linen sack. Now, I ran out of time for asking more questions about Joseph, but you could add more questions about Joseph about what it means, maybe what does it tell about Joseph to urge the donkey forward with Mary riding it, or just anything else about him, and maybe do a one-sentence testimony about that story. For senior primary, because they are more familiar with the song, I wanted to introduce the second verse. I explained to them that we're not singing the second verse for when we sing it in sacrament meeting for Christmas, but I thought it would kind of elevate it and challenge them a little more, so we didn't sing through the first verse as much as junior. So I just put the lyrics up on the board because they're not familiar with it. And then these are the motions. Okay, so first you hold it up and pretend you're like peering over a curtain. This is Joseph at the inn, like at a busy place, looking around heads. I think they're at the busy inn. And we're just gonna fold our arms. Oh, we can put it over our shoulder for Joseph and then fold our arms. That he was meek and mild. And then make it like a baby. And ought to be the guardian of Mary's sacred child. Perhaps all through the chilly hours he smoothed the swaddling bands, and Jesus felt the quiet strength of Joseph's gentle hands. One tip for you, this is especially helpful in junior primary when I would like teachers to sing to maybe help support the littles. I have a TV in my room now, and so I just wrote up the lyrics for the song and I just post them so they're in the corner so teachers can sing along, or if there's a child who could read, they could look at it. But I also put it up in senior primary for those children who need visual cues, who want to look at the words. I encourage them, don't look at the words if you can help it, but that way the teachers always feel comfortable, or if there's a visitor, or if a child is unsure of a word, they can just glance over and look. And honestly, if something happens to me and I forget something, I can look over. But if you don't have a TV in your room, for years I have just gotten copy paper and written the lyrics nice and big with a marker, and I fold it up and I just keep it in a file. Maybe I'll do a video about that one day. And so I just post the lyrics if it's something that I think they want a little bit more support in being able to see the lyrics instead of just listening to me.